Donald Trump isn't sorry about anything, but he ought to be, because the word is out that he can say, I'm rich and I don't need the money all you want. But he's a spoiler. And before we go to the phones, that's what I heard, that a candidate is going to emerge, and it may not be the Bushes, because the party is internally in a flux.
Let's try this, girlfriend. It probably won't even be an election, okay? Okay? Did you hear me?
And I don't want you to just leave me hanging. You know you didn't finish that sentence.
Well, when you take the next break, have my man punch up executive order signed by Obama 2 years ago, executive order 13603. Okay? And then you see what I was talking about. That's law. That don't gonna be law. That is law. Okay?
Are you telling me that there is a law that there will be?
No. I just told you to pull it up.
I know.
Pull it up.
But
Executive Order 13603.
and
then
I
you
got
see.
it. What's the year it came out? 2000 and...
He signed it 2012, and then another part was added to it. And that executive order wiped out FEMA, okay? There's no more FEMA. They don't exist. Homeland Security. And tonight, while we talking, he can sign the piece of paper. It's already law that he becomes president for life. Now, you pull it up, and that's what all this crap is about, okay?
I want to make an announcement, and while we're looking for that, did you get that number, bro? Executive Order 1603.
603.
13603.
Yeah.
Executive Order.
603.
13603. Executive Order. Okay. So let's take a call.
Now, the Rockefeller family is one of the richest families in the world. You ain't never heard them talk about how much money they got. So Trump needs to listen to the first thing I do is give him a drug test. Did I say that? Yes,
You did. Yes, you did. Executive Order 13603. 13603. President Obama authorizes slave labor.
No, keep on.
Wait a minute. Give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
My eyes deceiving me. Executive Order 13603. Obama authorizes slave labor on a large scale on American soil. Say what? President Obama signed his own executive order, which allowed for the president to enact slave labor on a large scale on American soil. For the Americans who have been targeted for FEMA camp detention. FEMA camp detention? So now we have the people who are going to clean the roads. Is this modern day CC camps? Forced labor?
Keep on, because that's just the first part. Then wait till you get to see where he can take your water, check your water down.
Okay, let's go to it. Let's go to it. Most will voluntarily self-incarcerate in order to avoid starvation for both them and their families. The following excerpts from Executive Order 13603 will be enacted. Third World Population Control. Using food as one of the primary weapons. I keep telling people, Mr. Louis Farrakhan has been talking about growing our own food, hooking up with the black farmers. Let me continue. Lawrence Lucas has been talking about it. Let's move on, Beverly.
Baby, you can put your whole farm thing, they come over with one drone and spray it, and everything you eat out of it will be poison, okay?
So it's on. It's on. It's on. It's on for us. Listen to this, folks. Third World Population Control, using food as one of the primary weapons, has long been a matter of official covert U.S. national policy and a portion of President Obama's Executive Order EO 13603. Did you hear me, folks? Now, this is really interesting to me because You remember, was it a couple of weeks that Bill Gates and Melinda Gates went to the White House?
Yep.
Now, was it a couple of months ago that a report that came out and disappeared about Bill Gates being involved in population control campaigns in Africa, on the continent of Africa?
Yep. He ain't gave a nickel to poor white children in America in his life.
But wait a minute. He's over there, and it's about population control. They are paying people like China did not to have children. They're over there testing on them.
The code word is useless either. So when you hear that, you don't think they're talking about professors, college presidents, police chiefs, the military. That gives you a think that you're talking about poor. It's useless either. And Henry Kissinger wrote up the whole document, and a federal judge sealed it, and we went into court with a group and got it unsealed, okay? And it tells you about them, Bill Gates, Ted Turner, all them thugs is listed, and they don't know they ain't going nowhere. They're going to get them too. That's a game they play.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, more on Executive Order 13603 and what it says you can and cannot do. What you need to hear about this, though, it's a fait accompli. It's already the law.
Already the law.
And I bet you didn't know a thing. No, a thing, T-H-A-N-G, about it. And what have we learned so far? Well, I told you that Governor Jerry Brown mandated a mass medical vaccine experiment on blacks on June 30th. Last month, he signed S. Bill 277 into law. And what that law does, making him the first person to do this, is to legalize a statewide medical vaccine experiment on blacks. He reawakened the area of Tuskegee experiments against blacks while invoking the same twisted justification as Tuskegee did. It's for public health. So he's done that. So it's a law. And then Dick sprung this on us. Executive Order 13603, National Defense Resources Preparedness. Obama plans to seize control of our economy and our lives, says this newspaper. He has made it clear that he's determined to continue pushing his progressive agenda, regardless of constitutional limitations on his power. The first sign of possible things to come happened on March the 16th, 2012, when the president signed Executive Order 13603 about National Defense Resources Preparedness. The 10-page document is a blueprint for federal takeover of the economy that would dwarf the looming Obamacare takeover of the health care or more. This is this article that appeared in 2012 that you probably never heard of. All commodities, listen to this, all commodities and products that are capable of being ingested, food, water, by either human beings or animals, medicine. They got you coming, they got you going. All forms of energy will freeze you out, will heat you to death. All forms of civil transportation, you can't go anywhere. If you have a car, it doesn't matter. We control the roads, the highways, the bridges. All usable water forms, sources. It's happening right now. There is a move right now on Capitol Hill that to have a complete government takeover, even more than there is now, of all water on the face of the planet. Not just here in the United States.
All over.
But the U.S. is trying to get that all over. This kind of bill that Dick just told us about opens that up for discussion, and you're not hearing about that either. Forced labor. But before to get to that, all usable water, I want you to hear this, from all sources. That even means well, if you have a well on your property,
Everything.
everything, everything, control. Health resources. The government would now own all drugs, all biological products, all medical devices. That is even down to the thing you use to help you walk, your crutches. They can say who gets them and who doesn't. All health facilities, all health supplies, services, and equipment. The government would take over immediately. You all need to go back and read the Left Behind series and tell me what you think. Forced labor. This is what you were talking about. Slavery is the executive order delicately refers to military conscription. All that is fancy words for a militarized country. And that is what a Republican president, Dwight Eisenhower, warned about. The military complex buildup. He warned not to let the military take over. The president, in signing this executive order, gave way for that to occur. It's already occurring. Tomorrow in South Carolina, there's going to be a demonstration. And well, it wasn't a plan to be a demonstration, but people, because of what happened in South Carolina, wanted to go back to the Capitol, to where they have the African American South Carolina monument, and do a memorial service. The Klan found out, applied for a marching permit, and they are going to march past those who are gathered. They've been throwing out leaflets and everything. The government already has their plan together. They already have the military. They're going to up the National Guard, and they're going to use the military. It's already planned. They've called in special forces, FBI, and the like. It's already planned.
Already
Planned.
Now, see, once you sign an executive order, okay, you got to wait 90 days, cooling off. Can't nobody stop it. But it is law now, so it ain't nothing. The Senate and the Congress will be dissolved. Send them home. Okay? That's where we're going. And Kennedy tried that. Okay? You don't have no more of that to read. You're through reading that, I'm going to tell you something else.
Now, I have a lot more, but we'll tell folks to go just find out. Just Google Executive Order 13603, and you'll see for yourself. And if you want to find out about the medical things that Jerry Brown has done, the violation of all medical ethics, the doctors, they don't care.
Listen, punch up JFK, June the 4th, 1963, Executive Order 11110, and then look what you see. Then you see why he got shot in the head. Okay?
Once again, that's Executive Order 11110. Okay, got it. Okay.
June the 4th, 1963.
Okay.
And so that's where
he's on it. Let's take a call while he's getting that.
Okay.
Folks, that's why we tell you there is no reason for you to be ignorant. And I don't mean your behavior. Ignorance has a couple of definitions, like you act in an ignorant manner. I'm talking about you being ignorant in that you are devoid of information. But if you get this information and you don't use it and connect the dots, you are asking for what you get. And if you have the information and you don't use it, that's just plain stupid. 1-888-669-2281. Let's take a call. Good evening. Thank you so much for holding. Who are we talking to? Oh, hello?
Hello, this is Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Let me move away from my radio to another room. I've been waiting to see, and I want to go back over a little bit, if you allow me, to the so-called Tuskegee experiment. I grew up in Tuskegee. I went to elementary, high school, and college there. My father was a professor on campus. And what really happened was the sharecroppers in Macon County. Let's give you the seat of the county. It's the county seat. And I guess it assumed that name because of that. But it was more the rural people, black and white now. Please understand, the black and white, everybody had syphilis. When they finally discovered the cure was penicillin, everybody got treated but the black people. They wanted to see what the results were going to be if the disease took them forward and they died. Another thing, the Macon County nurse, Mrs. Gregory, was the health department nurse for Macon County. She gave all of the shots and inoculations and so forth to everybody. I went there. Our father took us there because the shots were free. These were the 10 little shots that you got over a period of years for your immunization. And Ms. Rivers, bless her little heart, had a short leg and wore a prosthetic extension for that short leg. I remember her like it was yesterday. She was the connect person to the doctor they did a documentary on later years, who was here in Atlanta, a white man. And she would go out into the field and get, if the men didn't come in from work in the field, she would go out and get the blood samples and collect them and mark them and mail them to this white guy here in Atlanta where I live now. Mrs. Rivers, I wonder to this day if she really knew what the blood samples were for, and did she really understand the complete picture and the project that was underway?
That's a good question, Barbara, because when Cicely Tyson played the part in the movie version of the Tuskegee thing, what came out is that she was unaware. She thought that she was really doing a service for these farmers, and that was even when they were doing the false trial, because remember they gave some folks the serum or the inoculation to try to cure it and get rid of it, and they let some other folks, black primarily, just keep on dying from it to see how much damage it would do to the body. We'll take a break, and when we'll come back, Dick Gregory responds to Barbara, who gave us a history lesson on what Tuskegee was all about.
Many of them haven't finished grade school, but we're not mad at AT&T. We're not mad at Sears and Roebuck. We're not mad at the powerful ones, because in your subconscious mind, you know they'll kill you. So they give us some little chumps. White businessmen in America is the most powerful, evil businessmen on the planet. So you think the Tea Party can shut this government down? If they didn't want it, they'd kill them all. Okay? Hear me now. You think they could do that? There, listen to this. If you was a congressperson, right? Every congressional district gets a piece of the defense budget. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, listen to this now. The top 20 money people. You can't be in the top 20 if you less than $19 billion. Okay? All right? Out of the top 20, the top 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, are Democrats, right? Yet and still, they got the whole crap like the Republicans is the war machine, huh? You hear me?
Yes.
Now, you ready for the top 2? From 1 to 2. That's like $30 billion plus, 1 to 2. Those are black districts, okay? See, they don't play the game like we think the game is played. That's crap. Upstairs, number 1, it is Congressman Clay in St. Louis. What's in his district? McDonnell Aircraft, okay? Okay? Number 2, okay, most powerful money-wise, is the Black Panther guy in Chicago that's in Congress. What's in his district? Boeing Aircraft. Okay? See, these are games they play. The games they play, and they give you this whole crap so you can be looking over here, and it's going all together the other way. And they don't have to answer to nobody. As long as we are dumb enough to believe what they tell us. For instance, they told us in Baltimore that our high school, they didn't say these was high school dropouts. They said that our high school students was breaking in the drugstore, going to the pharmacist, taking drugs. Now, have you ever carried a prescription to the pharmacist in your life? Mm-hmm. you give it to the pharmacist. They don't know where the stuff is. They got to look for it, right? Mm-hmm. They pull out this drawer, they mix this and that. So we are stupid enough to believe our children walk into the pharmacist, go back there and know where the drugs are, and we buy into that crap.
And have a lock to get into the locked drug cabinets. Come on, scare it all away. But what we know is that there are films out there, because people were filming who they were. And the charges and the allegations are that some of the people who went into that drugstore, were police officers, white police officers. They have it on the film. Now, where the films are, we've been trying to find out. But and I'm sure we won't find out till they're ready to come out with it. But they will show you.
Out, baby. They're not, listen to this. They're not coming out with it. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. When everything was shut down, everything was over, and they said, all right, now, y'all don't want us, y'all mad it up, and then the killing rate went up, right? You saw that, right?
Yes.
Then when the black cop stepped down the other day, that night the killing rate went down. Okay, that's the cops doing the killing, huh? That's the cops doing it. You're not going to get that out of NBC or CBS or none of that. That's them doing it, huh? They sit and said that our high school students, and I said, wait a minute, they didn't say dropouts, high school students. My children left home that day with backpacks and books, and nobody asked where the bricks come from, huh? Where did the bricks come from?
Right.
And them cops standing out there with the same kind of protection gear that the Navy SEALs use and the Delta Force when they go into battle. And they're going to tell me, my little black children...
And they were prepared to use it. That's the addendum we need to add. They were prepared to use it. They had military equipment that they had been given by the Department of Defense. The DOD gave them used military equipment. And they had it in Baltimore and in Ferguson, ready to use it. Barbara, thank you so much for your comment. You have a final word?
I love you, and thank God for those that honored you last night.
Thank you.
Thank you. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Hold on, Dick. Don't go anywhere yet. But Barbara is saying something to you, and we have 2 more callers. Go ahead, Barbara.
Did you pull that thing up on Kennedy?
We're pulling it up now. Here it is.
Okay, good.
Yes,
all right.
I got it. I'm ready. Go ahead, Barbara, and make your comment.
Okay. I'm pleased to be able to share them, but I did want to emphasize that these were rural sharecroppers. The people in the proper city of Tuskegee and around Tuskegee at the time didn't have a clue about all this. They weren't involved in it in any way. It was the Macon County rural people. I don't know why they ended up, well, I do probably know, that they attached the name Tuskegee for their own reason. But it was Macon County, the county of Macon, where these rural sharecroppers were living out in their fields and working crops and picking cotton. And they were the subjects of the test.
Okay.
When Roosevelt gave us the Social Security, right? Black folks was excluded. They say this will not cover domestics or farmers, okay? And 90% of us, so 98, was the mess. We didn't get that till the 1960s. And everybody running around kicking their heels up, talking about wonderful. And if you do your homework, you find out that Roosevelt was a cocaine addict. He was so drugged out that Mrs. Roosevelt had to sign the Declaration of War that day because he was stoned out of his mind. This is the stuff they do every day. But the New York Times is not going to tell you about it. What you saying, they're not going to tell us about it. They're doing it, and they'll keep on doing it, and they'll keep on doing it. And then all at once now there's this new piece out here. There's the new rhythm out here. And for those of you that's hip, there's a movie that came out called Purge. If you didn't see it, don't know where to get it. Ask your young folks. Purge. And here's how the movie starts out. Stand down. You young folks, you deserve a day of rest. Just kill the bastards, and nobody's going to do anything to you. No, this ran in the London papers, right? Wednesday, April the 29th, 2015. Mayor told the police, this is the mayor of Baltimore, told the police, stand down. Okay? While Baltimore began to burn. It's the same thing as the movie, huh? They already did the movie on this one.
Gotta take a break. Barbara, thank you so much for calling and setting the record straight. We appreciate you getting involved with the show. We'll take a break, and when we come back, finishing up with the world according to Dr. Dick Gregory. So we're not going to even try it because we want Dick to make his final comment. Thank you, bro, for letting me know that. For those of you calling, call back on Monday and talk about it. We'll have some open line time. This is really Dick Gregory. This order signed by the President, Barack Obama. This is a very serious order. Why isn't this being talked about on all of the networks?
Because it ain't none of your business. Ain't none of you do stuff in your house that we don't hear about. So these folks here, them things, real quick, let me show you.
But wait a minute. It is my business, though. I'm paying you with my taxpayers' dollars.
No, that ain't nothing but chump talk.
But whatever it is, you're affecting me. You're talking about owning the water, controlling the food.
Don't pay no taxes, okay?
Okay, listen to me. You are talking about, not you, you know what I mean. The president signed an order that says, you people, we're going to control the water. And then it went a step further and said all of the water. That means all of the water.
Take your house.
We can take your house. We can take your bank. We can issue food whenever we get ready, or we can take the food away from you. We can imprison you if you don't agree to work for us, which amounts to labor camps.
Yeah, well, hey. You see, while we were so busy in a country propping up racism and sexism and thinking all you got to do is, you can't be a good American when you go out and buy a gallon of milk and your tax money helps to buy drones and stuff to drop on women and children all over the world. And the difference between me and most folks, when I look in the mirror, I see the same filthy thing when I look at white folks. I'm part of them. Every time I got to go to a peace rally in a month, my ticket cost me round trip $42,000. The tax off that will buy a lot of bombs and kill a whole lot of people. So the difference when they come, I'll be standing there looking up saying, God, what took you so long? I'm just as filthy as they are. Okay?
Judgment.
That's how it works. But quickly.
And I got to ask you, too, about Queen Elizabeth and the Pope being charged for child trafficking.
Oh, you can pull that up. That was February the 2nd, 2013, when the Bank of Italy canceled all Vatican credit cards for drug trafficking, boys, girls, laundering drug money. And then Sweden came in and covered them. That's it. But listen to this here. The number one terrorist act before September the 11th was in Oklahoma, right? Right? Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Federal bill?
Yeah.
Okay? I want you to hear this, and then you see where we're going. The most conservative paper in America is the Washington Times, okay? This is dated, y'all want to pull it, Washington Times, Wednesday, April the 22nd, 1998. Headlines: FBI paid mortgage on Terry Nichols' home. Now listen to this. The FBI made mortgage payments.
Wait. Just work with me here.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI, which was the building that Timothy McVeigh went into,
That's right.
killed
right.
children and everything, okay?
That's right.
The FBI paid for his house, paid for the mortgage on his house?
Let me read this out of this white conservative Washington, D.C. paper. The FBI made mortgage payments on Terry Nichols' home after he was arrested and before he was convicted for conspiring to bomb the Oklahoma City Federal Building. Court documents show. Now listen what the Justice Department spokeswoman said she did not know immediately why the government was making the payments nor how much. Now she didn't say it didn't happen, huh? She said it didn't happen, huh? She said again, the Justice Department spokeswoman said she did not know immediately why the government, okay, was making the mortgage payments, nor did she know how much. The mortgage payments was disclosed in court filing Monday by Nichols' lawyer, who argued that his client did not have sufficient funds to pay for his defense. Okay, now y'all talk all that old crazy talk y'all out there and think you living in some wonderful country, and if you look at what happened yesterday in Tennessee, look, I was fortunate enough to hear when the news broke. 10:33, that little chump went into the one town and sprayed the building. He left there and went 7 miles away and killed the folks. Now, they didn't tell us Marines had been killed till almost 4 o'clock in the evening. Why? Why? Now, they just have to get up who they were. They said, we got to locate next of kin, because that's a hard job. Next of kin, you got to get a group of people. The Pentagon have trained these folks to go to their homes. But I'm saying, why? Why did that killing take place that early? And they just kept telling us, well, he was dead and the police was shot in the foot. That's all they told us. And then later they told us, oh, 4 Marines was killed. And that don't bother y'all? That don't bother y'all? Why was they waiting that long? What was going on that they held that information? And you're not going to ask. If you do ask, they're not going to tell you. That's what this whole thing is about. Now, that's just what I just read to you. That's why you white folks, you ain't nothing but chumps. I just read that to you out of a white conservative paper. I gave you the date, but you know what? You're such a chump because you lived and benefited from racism and sexism and all that craziness that now you hear the truth, you don't want to hear it. How many people have cancer and say, Doc, if I got cancer, don't tell me. That's what America's about now. That's what America. And you black folks, if you black folks that's listening to me have ever been by a paper mill, okay, there is no stink like a paper mill, okay? But the people that work there don't smell it. We black folks are the same way. We've been around this nasty, ungodly wench for so long, we don't smell it. But there's a universal law. If you live with filth, you become filthy. And that's all of us. We have become filthy. And don't think you better than this white person. You better than this. Oh, you didn't buy the bum, but you paid for it with your tax money. Okay? And one day we don't have the time now. When you look up that Kennedy thing, Executive Order 11110, he signed an executive order to do away with the Federal Reserve, and they put a bullet in his head.
Here it is. Secretary of Treasury, the President's authority to issue silver certificates under the Thomas Amendment of the Agricultural Adjustment Act. He used the Agricultural Act to do it, as amended by the Gold Reserve Act. The order allows the Secretary of Treasury to issue silver certificates if any were needed during the transition period under President Kennedy's plan to eliminate silver certificates and use Federal Reserve notes. Now, what is so interesting about this is that's a part, as you are pointing out, of what Mr. Obama said, all assets. The government has the right to take all assets.
Now, wait, just hold it 1 second.
Well, we're out of time, babe. Give me your best 30.
They killed Kennedy because of what he was doing for Negroes. If you go back 100 years to 1863, the President Lincoln signed an executive order to do away with the central bank, and they made believe he was killed because of slavery in the Civil War. That's the game they play.
And we should say that the central bank is bankrupt. Dick, we love you.